Saturday afternoon, baby. Saturday afternoon. Uh, uh, Wait a minute, hold on. Got some things spilling some stuff in. It's a little small disaster area. Everything good. Yo, Urban Therapy with Sun 752. How y'all feeling this afternoon? The 29th of March. We got 2 more days left of March. And it is fully spring. Today is supposed to be like 80 degrees. What we looking at? What we looking like right now? Temperature wise, it's 80 degrees. Wow. Already. So it's going up to 83. By 3 o'clock, it should be going up to 83 degrees. So y'all know how it go. A lot of people going to be naked today. Y'all going to see a lot of people taking off a lot of clothes today. You're going to see very little clothing, a whole lot of skin. And it might be skin that you don't really want to see. And that probably shouldn't be revealed. But y'all know that is what it is. Today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we are talking about, and then they want to come crying to you. Then they want to come back crying to you. Now, you know, by the title, you might be thinking that you're talking about an ex or something like that. And you know what's funny? Because I wasn't really thinking about that when I developed the title of the show. I was thinking about when you give somebody advice, when you try to warn somebody about something, when you try to show somebody how to do something the right way, and they might passively aggressively say, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. I think I'll do that. And you know by the way that they said it, the tone of their voice, their body language, you know that they're going to do the total opposite of what you suggested for them, or what you instructed to them, or what you warned them about, or what you gave them your expert opinion or advice about. So yeah. So then when they do what they wanted to do and they fall flat on their face, then they want to come back to you like, yeah, such and such didn't work out for me. It fell apart. I thought it was going to go this way, and then it went that way. I thought it was going to zig, but it zagged. Sort of like, you remember the show I Love Lucy? Remember the show I Love Lucy with Lucille Ball back in the day? There was an episode, you know, they used to always take things to the extreme with the I Love Lucy show. But one time, I remember one episode where she was either trying to make rice or, no, she was using some soap powder. And instead of following the directions, she just free-handed the soap powder. It was all this old crazy soap powder and all this kind of stuff. Super extreme, but I get it. I get it. And you may have experienced something like this when it comes to your people too. You know, when you told them exactly what to do. Children are a very good example of this. You tell your kids, no, don't do this, don't do that. But kids always think that their parents are old and that they don't know better, and that all of their ideas apply to a different time, a different era. You know what I mean? They don't understand the deal of what's going on today, how everything has changed, and they got to get with the times. That's how children treat their parents. And what winds up happening when your parents tell you the right way to do things, the right people to hang around with, and when they warn you about the right stuff? What happens? You know, much to our chagrin, our parents warn us about shit, and we go off the rails and do the exact opposite of what they say, and then we wind up either falling on our face, getting in trouble, having to get picked up from the precinct, having to get picked up from school or whatever. We wind up getting into trouble. Sometimes we get hurt. Sometimes we wind up in the hospital, bandaged up, in a cast. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of crazy stuff. Why? Because we didn't listen to our parents, because we thought we knew better than they did. More than likely, whatever we asked them about, if we asked them about something, we didn't provide all of the details. Why? Because they were our parents and we thought that they weren't privy to everything that we were talking about. So we left out the good part. We left out the important things. Not that they don't know, because more than likely they have been through the same thing. But you can always go back running to you can always go running back to your parents and crying and saying, some of y'all might lie. Some of y'all might lie and say that instead of you being the one that messed up, somebody cheated you, somebody lied to you, somebody did something the wrong way to you. When you know in your heart of hearts, you know that the truth is you didn't listen, you did what you wanted to do, you made a move, the move failed, and now once again, your parents have to come bailing you out of the situation. And that's if you have good, nice, compassionate parents. Shout out to all of the parents that's like, no, that's what the see, you got the parents that say, well, that's what you get. And then you got the parents that say, that's what the fuck you get. When you got a parent that's on that's what the fuck you get, two things normally happen. Either you don't go to that parent and ask them for advice in the first place, or you know damn well that you better not go crying to them after you fall on your face, after you get your ass kicked, after you done got put through the paper shredder, after you done got been through the tree. What's the thing that they cut trees up? You know, you put it in the machine and make all that noise and shit. You know what I'm saying? The wood chipper. Yeah, Yeah, you in 1,000 pieces right now. You got put in the wood chipper. That's what you get. What's that? I'm a Adian? What up, I'm a Adian? I don't know if I'm saying your name right. And please pardon me and excuse me if I'm not saying your name right. That's not what I normally like to do or whatever. I'm not Donald Trump. But speaking of Donald Trump, a whole lot of Trump supporters are now bitching, moaning, pissing, crying, pleading for somebody to bail them out because they really thought that he was going to do the things for them that he had promised that he was going to do, and he hasn't done most of the important things, the things that that affect people's everyday lives. Now, this is not going to be a political show, but that's an excellent example because now they want people to protest. They want people to go out there on April 5th and protest. Nah. What they say, fuck around and find out. FAFO. Yeah, well, I believe in that wholeheartedly. But we're gonna talk about that and a whole lot of other things. What are your general feelings about when you give somebody advice and they don't listen to you? What are your general feelings about when you ask somebody for advice and they don't listen to you? They give you their ass to kiss. They basically blow you off. They go ahead and do what they wanted to do in the beginning. I don't even know what they asked you for advice for. Now, sometimes they may not have asked you for any advice, but you saw that somebody was struggling. You saw that they needed advice. You saw that like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing over there. Okay, I see what you're doing over there. But listen, you got what you're doing is okay, but if you keep doing it that way, it's not going to work, and you're going to wind up damaging the thing beyond repair. It's like telling somebody, yo, you need to make sure that you put oil in your engine. If you keep driving your car miles and miles and miles and never put oil in the engine, or you never change your oil, there's a good chance that your engine may seize up on you and you won't have a car to drive. And they say, yeah, I'm gonna get an oil change. I'm gonna go to the, you know what? I'm gonna go to Pep Boys. I'm gonna go to AutoZone. I'm gonna go to Ace. No, what's Advanced Auto Part. I'm gonna go get some oil and put it in the engine. And they never do it. And what happens? What happens? What happens is that the damn engine, first the engine gives you a warning. Your car won't accelerate, it's acting funny, it's shaking, and whatever. You kept driving it. You pressing all the way down on the gas, and the car not moving. And then the car ain't gonna move again. That's a Rizat. The engine, because the engine. Anyway, now you may have A car note that you're paying on a car you can't drive. There is nothing in the world worse than paying for something that you can't use, paying for something that has been stolen, paying for something that you broke, paying for something that costs more to fix than what you are paying to own it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, but you told them, but did they listen? Did they listen? Did they listen? Did they hear? Yeah. This is for my non-listening crew. All by myself. I ain't gotta listen to nobody else. Yo, let me learn on my own. Yo, I found it on my phone. I'ma make it out here no matter what. I ain't gotta ask nobody for nothing. I'm on my time I was a child, I gotta listen to my inner voice, baby. No matter what, I'ma make it out here. You ain't wanna help me for real. Yo. What's up with that thing you told me about? Yo, is that job still open? Yo, y'all still hiring? My shit is flat. I ain't got no jack. I ain't got no jumper. Yeah, I was gonna get AAA, but yo, you got any more points on your card? I mean, I really appreciate. Yo, the rent is due, but I wouldn't gamble. Well, I mean, you win some, you lose some, baby. Saying you was young at one time. I mean, why you always gotta be on my back? You gotta be riding me. That's why. See, that's why I don't be asking nobody for nothing. I'ma make it on my own. I'm saying though, you ain't gotta be yelling at me. I mean, you got a lot. You lived your life. I'm still. Please. Pay you back my next check. Well, not the next one, but I'm saying not the next check, but like the check after. Well, I mean, I got kids, you know what I'm saying? I got bills. Well, I want to make sure that they got. Such and such on the tech. I mean, I know I don't have custody of the kids, but I mean, the IRS, they always. Shit, I ain't gonna do no time over this shit. I'd be. I mean, for real, son. Don't act like you ain't never make no mistakes in your life. Come on, homie. What? You only got one baby mom? Everybody got kids, man. I mean, you never know. I mean, I thought I was gonna marry her. That's why shit, I didn't know that she was still down with the boy. I mean, the baby kind of looked like me, so I mean, DNA rumors. I ain't gonna listen to know what everybody else say, but you know next time. Son 7, baby. Urban Therapy. What up, y'all? Grown woman, don't try me. What's good? Yo, I see my man Johnny West. What's good, homie? Cheryl Halsey, thanks for coming through. Yo. Stacy, what? Yo, Stacy White coming through now. Yo, I told you to stop messing with clown. He took your money and stole your heart. Shit stinking, smell like a fart, baby. Yeah, well, at least, did you die? I said, but did you die though? I mean, you still here. Next time, you know what? A hard head make a soft ass. Yeah. Sometimes the thoughts in my head just don't come out, but I'm still. Are y'all ready to do this thing and listen to me? Y'all ready? Are you ready? Let's get this conversation started. Then they want to come crying to you. I ain't gonna lie, I resent that shit. I be mad, but you know, Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Saturday from 1 p.m. till around 2:30-ish. And the reason that we say 2:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And it is Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up, go all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752. AKA Omar with the rrrr. And if you can't say Omar with the rrrr, well then you just say Omar with the R. Today, on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we are talking about then they want to come crying to you. They want to come crying. All right, let me zoom in a little bit here. Let's get personal. About to get personal with y'all. What's good? About to plug the microphone in. Yeah. You're about to start hearing me in a better way. Let me see. I guess I'll put it right here. We good. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. All right, we good? Levels is good. Levels is good. All right. Make sure I didn't miss nobody. Henry Rice, my bad. Henry Rice says no one voted for Elon. Sure didn't, but people still taking up for him. So that's on them. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill, sit back, relax, do your thing, max and chill. And T carry right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your sight. What up, y'all? Yeah, then they want to come crying to you. You gave them the advice. You gave them all the benefit of your experience. You told them exactly what to do. You told them exactly what to do. You walked them through each part of the process, and they went rogue on you. You walked them through each part of the process, and they went rogue on you because they know everything, because they smarter than you. And do you? Let me ask y'all that. Do y'all feel like that when you give somebody advice, and then they go ahead and do whatever the fuck they want to do, and then they come back crying to you, complaining to you, explaining to you, asking you for more help, more advice, more money, more time, more assistance, more rides, more this, more that, your firstborn's blood, the type O blood type and all. Fuck out of here. Do you feel disrespected when you tell somebody how to do something, when you let your feelings allow you to help somebody, and then they just don't listen at all? Do you feel like they undermine you? Do you feel like maybe they think that they're smarter than you? Because sometimes I get the feeling that sometimes, people will come to you for advice because they think that you're smart in a certain area, but they honestly believe that they're smarter than you on the whole. On the whole, they believe that they're much smarter than you. So they're like, all right, I'm a milk your brain. No, that's not the word. What they say? Is it milk your brain? Whatever. They're gonna, what's the term they say? What's the term they say? Surely, sure, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Surely, sure, the world's most precious and greatest pearl. What's the word that they say when they say, pick your brain? There you go. They're going to pick your brain. They're going to pick your brain for your knowledge in this area. But they really just want to find out if you have any little like insider secrets, any like little insider info that they can get from you, so they can do it their own way. Yeah, you gave them the box of Duncan Hines. You gave them the box of Duncan Hines. But they want to cook it. I mean, they want to bake it like a Pillsbury. They want to bake it like the Pillsbury. The Pillsbury. Like, it's the same. It's a cake. It's cake, but there might be a different technique for the Pillsbury. For the Pillsbury, it might be a different technique than it was for the Duncan Hines. So they already had it in their mind that they was going to do their own thing, but they came to you. They know you know how to do it, and now they done went and totally fell flat on their face. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You ever see somebody that fell right on their eyebrows? They fell right on their jaws. They bleeding up here. No, they didn't get punched in the mouth. They didn't get punched in the eye. It's like when you ever see somebody pass out face first because they was drunk. You know what I mean? They took that dive, that boop, Flintstone lump right over the eyebrow. Like, yo, I don't know if your brow's going, I don't know if them Jones gonna grow back right, son. I don't know if they gonna grow back. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Let me see what y'all talking about. Richard Rockefellers. Richard Rockefellers, what's good? Y'all have some colorful names, man. I appreciate that. That's good shit. Yeah, that's good shit. Hold on. What we got here? Johnny West says, does Pep Boy still exist? It does. In Philly, it does. Remember when they got rid of that one guy who looked like Hitler? It was Manny, Mo, and Jack, right? He says, I'm surprised no rapper has ever sampled the 1877 Cars for Kids song. They had cars in 1877? Or do you mean 1977? I don't think they had cars in 1877, though. Matter of fact, I'm sure. Back then, they would have been trying to call it a horseless carriage. All right. Says nobody sees your tears when you're walking in the rain. Ooh. Yeah, but they can see how sad your face is. They can see how sad your nasty ass failure face is. Failure face. I remember I saw that on one of the Charlie Brown specials. They was calling Charlie Brown failure face. Failure face. They used to be giving it to Charlie Brown. Man, my man C. Brown used to be getting it bad. They used to be getting it bad. Even when he started being a rapper and he joined Leaders of the New School, then Dinko D and Busta Rhymes was giving him the business. Brown, inside, outside, come Brown. Who's that, Brown? All right. Okay, the mic sound good. All right, we good. Levels is good. Johnny West says, I mean, you just said milk your brain. Never heard it before, but I know what you're saying. All right, cool. When you know what you're trying to say, it's like on the tip of your tongue. It's right there on your brain. It's like it's there, but you just can't. You know what I mean? You can't get it over the plate, baby. You can't get it over the plate. All right. Troy Diesel. Troy D's, what's good, man? What's good? Good to see you. All right, yo. So yeah, they want to come crying to you. You told them. Let me look at this poll. I put this poll up. And the poll says, what's the likelihood that you'll help somebody after you warned them and they didn't listen? 41% out of 17 votes so far, 41% said, yes, everyone makes mistakes. So you would help. Well, y'all so nice. Look at y'all, man. Y'all go-getters. Y'all nice. All right. 12% says probably not, but maybe I would. Like, okay, you know what? It depends on the situation. All right, depends on our relationship. Like, all right, I'm going to do it for my kids. I might do it for my spouse, but that's only if I know they ain't been fucking up and not listening to me for a long time. I might do it for them. All right, kid, I'm going to do this for you, but make sure I get a piece too. He gave me the sign. I gave him the cue. Pick me up in the BMW last night. Had it. I know that's not what I don't care what y'all say, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do me. It was 1987 when that song came out. Okay. All right. 24% says don't even ask me. It's a rap. I told you, dumbass. I told you. And you don't be listening. You hard-headed. You hard-headed and dick-headed. You a dickhead hard-head. Hard-headed, dickhead ass. Yo, I told you. You know what I mean? That's why my brother ain't home now. That's why he upstate now. And your dumb ass gonna be upstate too. Following behind his stupid ass. You gonna be right up there with him, following behind his stupid ass. But not me. I'ma stay free. 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 I'ma listen to everything they say when I get said to me. Yo, I ain't going out like a sucker, yo. Yo, pucker up and yo, you kissing the ring, the wrong ring. Ain't nobody out here really a bigger the king. You bigger than you, yo. The trick or two, you pulled that, and now you going upstate. Where's that? Yo, the judge wasn't giving you no mercy. You a dumbass nigga, yo. You didn't rehearse, see. I tried to get you on the right track. You don't be listening to that, and you still black. You know black people getting the wrong charges. Yo, listen, this thing ain't gonna work out for you and yours, yo. You about to have to drop them drawers and get a cavity search. Dumbass nigga. Oh, stupid ass, never listen to wisdom ass nigga. Yo, yo, you candy bar ass nigga. Yo, snicker, veiny ass nigga. Yo, I don't understand why these men can't listen to nobody. Like they don't understand. And I'm speaking to you in plain English. Yo, English, it's the King's English, dickhead. Why niggas can't listen? Why niggas can't listen? Why niggas can't listen? Yeah, yeah. Then you want to get on me about using the word nigga, but you was a dumbass nigga. You was a stupid ass. Yo, when you stop acting like a nigga, I'ma stop calling you a nigga, psych. That's the way I talk, but at least I'm free on these streets without I walk. Dumbass niggas. Dumbass niggas. All right. Anyway, y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. Men want to come crying back to you. Sometimes they literally come back crying to you. Y'all know. Okay, let me ask y'all this, man. Let me ask y'all this. What is the main area where you give advice and somebody doesn't listen to you, and then when shit don't go their way, when everything falls apart, then they want to come crying back to you? What's the main thing? Because I believe that there are maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5 general things that people ask for advice about, but don't listen to that advice about, and then want to come back to you like you're going to give them some more advice. Or like you're going to lay your head on my shoulder with your stupid ass. Baby, you fucked up again, baby. So what are the areas? Oh, TK Wright said relationships. God damn. That's got to be number one. People will ask you advice. People will ask you for advice when they hurting, when they man or they woman ain't right, ain't been right, ain't gonna get right. And they asking you for advice, but you have to understand what they really are asking you. They're not really asking you what they should do. They're asking you how they can fix it to their advantage. You know, I had a memory the other day. Me and my dad used to go to this meeting every Friday afternoon. It was actually Friday morning, and it was called the Men's Gathering. And it was like most of the cats in there were older black men. It was for black men, and it was a way for us to talk to each other, put each other on about the threats of politics, the Illuminati. It was some deep shit. It was dope. It was real dope. Anyway, at this time, my dad was practicing hypnotherapy, and he was getting good at it. So he's practicing hypnotherapy, and he's doing his thing. And there was this old head that wanted my dad to perform hypnotherapy on his wife. He didn't want it on him. Now, hypnotherapy, for those of y'all who don't know, shout out to my man Belvin. My man Belvin Jessup, he met my dad, and they both do hypnotherapy. They got tight before my dad passed. But anyway, he wanted my dad to perform hypnotherapy on his wife so he could get his wife to do whatever he wanted him to do. So he basically was trying to conspire with my pops. Like, he wanted to give him an itinerary. My dad told me about this shit. This shit was crazy. So he I don't know what kind of thing he had going on with his wife, because my dad, he would keep people's secrets. He wasn't the type that would put your shit out there. But he was like, yeah, Omar, he was basically trying to get me to get his wife to do some things that he wanted her to do that she evidently wasn't doing on her own. And he was like, I don't think I'm gonna take this job. Cause he basically wanted my dad to put her under a spell. Cause he didn't want to undo this shit. It wasn't like he just wanted to find out some truths about her, or, to help her with some vices that she may have had, like drinking or smoking or losing weight or, something like that. He wanted her basically like, all right, this is what I need you to do, sir. Yo, Mr. Mac, what I need you to do, I need you to get in her ear and tell her I need her to cook, clean, give head, spread legs. I need unlimited threesomes. The boy was an old head though. He had to be all of 70 at the time. I don't know if he's alive. A lot of them cats have passed on. But my point is, he wanted what a lot of people want when they ask for relationship advice. They don't really want to fix the situation. They want to fix the person. Like, how can I make her or make him do what I want him to do, kid? I need to know how I can make him come through, kid. And I be wondering, what would happen? What would happen if it actually happened? Like, what are you going to do? Remember on that episode of the Roadrunner where the coyote finally caught the Roadrunner? But remember, he was shrunk. The coyote was shrunk, and the Roadrunner was too big, and he couldn't do nothing with it. And he held up the sign. He said, "You always wanted me to catch him. Now what?" It would probably be something like that. What up, Buttercup 25? What's good? And Samuel Miller, Dimples D's is in the house. What's good? All right. Nars Hill says, what gets me is when they get mad when they don't get coddled. Willie, I told you, leave that bitch alone. I told you, Willie, I told you. Buttercup says 100 on relationships. It's not easy, but well worth it with the right person. Well, we talking about when it don't work out. See, this is about when they want to come back crying to you. Now, of course, in some relationships, they leave the relationship because they think that they found somebody better, somebody prettier, somebody hotter, somebody more submissive, somebody that gives better head. Like, she give head all right, but she don't finish the job. She don't finish the job. She don't finish the job. If you gonna steal and rob, you gotta finish the job. You can't leave the corn on to the cob. Anyway, so you left me for another lover. Yes, you did. Yeah, things didn't work out with you and that other guy. Even on some nights, you told me I wasn't even good enough for you. Girl, you must be bugging. Remember that? Remember? Yeah, remember when that was bow-legged Lou line? Full force. So, even though so what did he say? He said things did not work out with you and that other guy. Even though on some nights you told me that I wasn't even good enough for you. Girl, you must be bugging. Hold on. Damn. Let me see if I can get away with playing it. Just that part. Hold on. Full force. Yeah, this is all in my mind. Hold on, slow down. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, I gotta watch it. All right. Here we go.
So, things did not work out between you and that other guy. Now you want to come back into my life, even though on some nights you said I wasn't even good enough for you. Girl, you must be bugging.
All right, whatever. We get to the last part. Even though on some nights you told me I wasn't even good enough for you. Girl, you must be fucking. Hold on, man. Hold on. I think he said something else, didn't he? All right, we're gonna rock with that because that might get my shit copy. That might get me a copyright just with that. You know what I mean? You know, it was all in my mind. It was all in my mind. I thought you loved me, but I was blind. Bow-legged Lou used to be kicking. He used to be spitting that crack. He used to be spitting that crack, man. That shit was wisdom, son. He used to be spitting that wisdom, yo. He used to be spitting that wisdom, God. Hold on.
You have a call.
Hold on. I think I just struck a nerve. Hold on a second. I think I just struck a nerve. Hold on. Let me just read the rest of these comments. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Dibbles D says, I think the rate of change in learning is more important than the amount of knowledge that one person acquires. It can be the right person, but not wrong person within a relationship. Possibly. But will somebody let you come crying back to them after they gave you advice and you ain't listened, and because you was hard-headed and did everything your way because you think you know everything, and now you done fucked up, forgot all kinds of steps after swearing you knew what you was doing, and now look at you. Your coat clothes all ripped and tattered and shit. Your makeup, your weave is fucked up. Wig won't fit on your head. You know what I'm saying? Scratches all on your face. You looking bad. You looking bad, girl. You look like you're dying. Ain't no use in crying. I'll take your man. That's what Salt and Pepper was talking about. That's what they was talking about in 1986. Right? Anyway. Shirley Cheryl says, some people can't handle the truth or good advice. Who can't handle good advice? What you can't handle is your own little stubborn ass mind, thinking you know everything. Hard head, soft ass. Hard head, soft ass. Hard head, soft ass. Hard head, soft ass. Hard head, soft. Hard head, soft ass. Hard head, soft ass. Hard head, soft ass. Hard head, soft ass. Old head says you got a hard head, and she knew they had a soft ass. Sometimes soft ass is the greatest. Sometimes you need a firm in the latest thing that you ever heard. You wasn't listening to none of that shit. It's kind of absurd. Now you going out just like a little piece of tissue. They already got snot blowing in that bitch. Yo, shit is fucked up. Johnny West said, that's a pretty good Bernie Mac. You don't hear that too often. That's a pretty good Bernie Mac. Okay, Cheryl says, some people think good advice is people trying to tell you what to do. Yup, and that's your problem. That's their problem. Don't come running back to them then. All right. You asked for the advice, though. You asked for the advice. Because think about it, if you didn't ask for the advice, There's no reason to go crying back to him. I mean, you just offered advice and shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Buttercup says 7 pounds down on so far on Ozempic. You'll be careful of that Ozempic. Be careful. All I'm saying is be careful of the Ozempic. That's all I'm gonna say. Look that shit up. We go V2. We go V2. Cheryl Halsey says some people give advice not to help but to hurt you in your life. Well, we ain't talk. Well, you definitely not gonna go crying back to them. If anything, you gonna go blaming them. You told me that unlimited blowjobs would keep the man. Love without limits. My man Troy Diesel, what's good?
What's going on, good stuff?
Man, I'm feeling like a real man. I'm feeling like a real man should.
Okay, the other part of that 4/4 song, he said, and by the way, my new woman makes love better than you. You are for real.
Yeah, that's my shit. You know how many times I used to rewind that shit?
Oh my God, boy. So by the way, my new woman makes love better than you.
Said my new woman makes love better than you. I mean, he was really teasing.
Remember that song? He said, I can be the same way, unfaithful, but you don't know it, girl.
Yes, I do. I remember well.
Shit, bro.
I remember. Yeah, what? Damn, the 4/4 song I haven't heard. That was my undisputed. Them Jerry Curl muscle bound motherfuckers was my favorite group.
Listen, boy.
Easy.
Listen, if you put that, if they put that as a trivia question, who is the most in-shape singers in the history of mankind? That was me.
But you know, when you go back and look at them now, they look small. I'm like, back then they looked all big and buffed and yeah, like no, that was the 80s. They was 80s muscular. They wasn't 2000 muscular. Yeah, it's just crazy.
I mean, you gotta realize they older now, bro.
No. The thing is, we're older. I'm talking about when you go back and look at their old videos and their old pictures. They look small compared to yourself now. You know what I'm saying? You got to think we was teenagers. Remember, Love Is for Suckers?
Yeah.
Love is. Remember how it started out? She loves me.
She loves me not.
She loves me. She don't love you. She loves me not. That's right. She don't love you, but I love her. That's why you a sucker.
Okay.
Them motherfuckers. They was the angry song. They was the angry song love song singers.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like them. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I agree with you. He's very right. You're 1,000% right when it comes to relationships and telling somebody how to handle certain situations. And it's different. It's always different between man and woman. Because if a woman gives you advice and it fuck up, she'll yell and scream at you. Snap. Why the fuck you ain't listen? You should have. As soon as you give her advice, you fuck up. You know, a man sit back and say, "Oh, that's cool. We can deal with it."
No, man, don't.
I've seen men just curl up.
I understand. Like, nah, You getting this work. Now, I'm going to try to be as gentle with you as possible, but I advise you not listen to me. If you came to me and you asked me about something and I told you, I only talk what I know. So if I told you, if I walked you through exactly what to do and you didn't listen, like, okay, all right, I knew this one chick and I told her she was having problems with her supervisor at work. I said, yo, dead that. I said, you don't want problems with your supervisor because it was a female supervisor. You know, black women seem to not be able to work with other black women when it comes to, or even white women when it comes to leadership or whatever. There always seems to be some bumping of the heads. Now, not 100% of the time, but an awful lot of the time. So I was like, listen, if you having problems with your supervisor, you either need to go to HR and get arbitration or do whatever you need to do to get her off of your back and get from under her eyes all the time. Oh, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to do, blah, blah. I said, listen what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. If they keep coming to you about violations that you're actually making, eventually they're going to find a way to bang you. Okay. She didn't listen. Needless to say, she didn't listen. I'm giving her HR advice. I'm giving her management advice and HR advice. Okay. She gets into it with her supervisor, whatever. And she comes home with the whole, yeah, that bitch ain't gonna be talking to me any kind of way, and blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, you got fired. Yeah, but you know, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, you got 4 kids. You got 4 kids, but you got it off your chest, didn't you? Yeah. Now you got to call. Now you about to go. Huh? Yeah. Like you got 4 mouths to feed, car note, rent, all the good shit, and you about to go to unemployment and get 60% of what you was making and have to beg for that because they fired you legitimately. So they're gonna fight you. They ain't gonna let you. They're not just gonna sign off on that unemployment. They're gonna fight you, and you're gonna wind up out of work for a good minute. But you got it off your chest, right? Now I told you what the fuck to do. Listen, I'm not. You know, I mean, at the same time, I gotta be like, babe, that's fucked up. But yo, you fucked up. You fucked up. You didn't listen. Yeah, but you don't understand. You didn't understand. That's the fuck I do understand. That's why I walked you through it. So no, ain't no we'll fix this shit because you gonna fuck around and do it again. Unless you out of work for like 6 months and your ass is broke and starving and gotta depend on me, your mom, your sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, you know what I mean? Welfare and all of that shit. Yeah, being out of work for a long time, that humbles the shit out of motherfuckers. But they come back crying to you. Wah, wah, fuck out of here. But anyway, yeah. You shouldn't, just because somebody comes back and cries on your shoulder or whatever, that don't mean you should always handle them with yo, you must have me on speaker because I can hear I'm hearing feedback.
There you go. I'm glad Kim's not on the line. I'm glad Kim ain't on the phone. I'm glad.
All right. But yeah, it's just sometimes you have to let people learn. Yeah, I hate it. I hate the fact that some people don't respond well to when you're nice to them. Because that validates, because they didn't get slapped, because they didn't get hurt, because they didn't get yelled at, because they didn't get their feelings hurt. Now they feel like then I must have did the right thing. It was just like the stars wasn't aligned that day. The next time they will be aligned and I'll get away with it. So sometimes you gotta give them that business. Like, all right, well, no. That'd be like if you lent somebody money. All right, I lent you a stack. I lent you $1,000 because you was in a bond. You already fucked up some money, and now I lent you $1,000. All right, here go this $1,000. All right, now you go and fuck up the $1,000 the same way you fucked up the money that made you need $1,000. You want to come back to me lying like you didn't fuck it up in the same way. Maybe you have a gambling problem. You went right back to the casino trying to win back the money that you lost that made you need this money. You think I'm gonna give you? I wouldn't even give you car fare after you come back. Like, no, you gotta eat that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta eat that. I don't have no more money left for you. I wouldn't care if I got 100,000 left. Like, no, because somebody like you are exhibiting addict behavior. So don't come back crying. How you gonna come back crying to me? You owe me. You cry to people who you don't owe. you can't come back crying to me. But people break up with people and go looking for something, where the grass is greener on the other side and all of that. Wind up having to come back like, yeah, babe, but I really missed you. And I've been, man, ain't nobody like you. Yeah. Sometimes when people say ain't nobody like you, or even during sex, can't nobody do it like you, that means, oh, that nigga ain't even piping you right. Oh, well. Shame on me for being able to read into a situation. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But we all handle people who come back crying in a different way. So I don't know. You got to pick and choose. Overall, Troy, what do you do when you give somebody advice and they fuck up and come back crying to you? Generally, how do you handle that situation?
Well, it depends on who it is. I'm a firm believer of I'll give you a second chance after that first chance. But after that second chance, there's no more chances after that.
Okay.
I can't keep doing the same shit. I can't keep providing you with this and you doing this. I can't keep doing that.
Okay.
So I mean, at the end of the day, and then I still keep giving them that advice. Like, I got a daughter, and I told you about the situation about my oldest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, I'll get you. I mean, I used to send her money and give her money and everything. But then it got to the point I said, I can't support that habit. I said, now, if you're hungry, I will send you something to eat. If you need clothes, I will meet up with you and go buy you some clothes. But I'm not giving you no money. And I keep giving her the same speech. Whenever you're ready, I'll be there 10 toes down. So prayer and everything else will work itself out. So I mean, sometimes you gotta allow people to make the decision. Let them make their own mistakes. Don't ask me for the advice, because if I give you my advice and that shit fall flat on the face, now you want to blame me for what you just did.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't blame me for shit. I gave you the advice. You went with it. It would have worked had you did it the way I said did it, but you did it a different way. And now you want to come back and say, well, no, don't come talking to me and yelling at me like the teacher from Charlie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear that. Now you made that mistake. Now you got to walk around in it for a while.
Facts.
And that shit just fucks me up when people don't. And the fucked up part is that when people don't own their shit, own it. Own that motherfucking shit, man. Don't walk around as if you know this shit is wrong. You know you fucked up. And now you're coming back to me and you're saying, damn, I fucked up. Can you, I'm sorry.
Sometimes you have to take into consideration what they really mean by they fucked up, because they don't necessarily always mean that they fucked up by what they did. They might mean that they fucked up with their technique. So they're looking for a new, improved way to do the same shit, but this time they want to get away with it. So you have to know your audience a little bit. I want to address something that I'm reading in the chat, and I think this is interesting. I think this is a very interesting comment by Stocks Family Farm, and he or she says, everyone that's helping has a motive. Everyone that's helping has a motive. Even if their motive is just to feel good about helping. The trick is finding their objective. Hold on a second. Hold on a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You have a call from
Okay.
Cheryl.
All right, hold on a minute. Like I said,
No, that's not necessarily true, though.
wait, hold on. I want to read it again.
Okay.
I want to read it again. Everyone that's helping has a motive, even if their motive is to feel good about helping. The trick is finding their objective. You know, what interests me and troubles me about that statement, that comment, is that's what predatory motherfuckers do. That's what they want to punish you for helping them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you didn't give them advice so they could succeed. You gave them advice so you could feel good about yourself. But they the ones coming back. I mean, by the title of this show, they the ones coming back crying to you when they fucked up. So how does this work? let me get this straight. So I could feel like a king, so I could feel like Big Willie, so I could feel like I'm the man. I helped you. I gave you advice. Maybe I physically helped you. Maybe I gave you money. Whatever it is, I gave it to you for you to use. You fucked up, and then, but you know, it's not about you fucking up. My motives wasn't right from the beginning. Like, maybe I shouldn't have just helped you, because I wasn't helping you for you. I was helping you for me. I was helping you for my heart. I was helping you for my mental state. I was helping you for my ego. I was helping you for my pride. I was helping you so I could tell everybody that I helped you. I wouldn't give a fuck if I wouldn't give a fuck if I went up in a plane and sky wrote that I helped you. I helped you. I helped you. And you didn't accept the help the way for what it was for. You went and fucked it up, and now you wanna say you wanna give everybody else accountability for helping you because they had a motive. Well, what was your motive in asking for the help? What was your motive in needing the help? What was your motive in fucking up the help that you got? That's yeah.
It sounds like she's saying when you're giving it, she's like, I gotta move this. What? It don't make sense. If somebody comes with, like a couple weeks ago, my cousin, she deals with one guy, and this guy, he wanted to marry her. He went to Greece, and he wanted to take her to Greece with her. And they went back and forth. She was undecided because she's dealing with another guy. And this other guy, they do things together, and then she don't see him for 2 weeks or a month, right? And so this guy was like, man, I'm tired of shit. I'm just gonna take another female on the trip with me. And he took another female on the trip with him. But now she's like, I'm upset at him. Well, how are you upset at him? How are you upset at him? You asking me for advice? I said, so what I told her was, I said, first and foremost, the other guy you don't see for a month after y'all are together and y'all get your intimacy in, and he might get you talking about all this, how he do this, that, and other stuff to you. And I'm sitting up here and I'm telling you, but the other one is financially secure. You might not love him like you love the other one, but you care about him and you got deep like for him. And he's trying to be there for you, and it is just about you. It ain't about no other female, because he's dealing with other female, the other one. So now she didn't went away on a vacation with the other one right here. Still, when she come back, you can't get mad at this other one that moved on. You can't get mad at that. So I'm giving you this advice, and when I talk to you on the phone, and you start to crying because the other one, the one that wanted to marry you and this, that, and the other, and treat you like a queen, is moved on, don't get mad at that. You can't get upset. It wasn't a motive of mine to help you. The motive is to make sure that you're secure, that you're comfortable, that you have an understanding of there's a pro and con of things that you're doing, or the pro thing that you need to do. I'm not going to give you no con. Because the kind is just shite you in an ignorant way. That's like you coming to me for advice, and I say, yo, just go shoot that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not going to give you that advice. That's not the advice you coming to me for. You asking me, how should I deal with this situation? Because if I got to tell you, let's go shoot that motherfucker, then we're going to go together. Because that's something that has to be done. But if it's something that does not have to be done, and you can tell that person, well, I'm going through problems with this person at my job, this guy coming at my neck, and that's your woman, well, I'll be up there. I have to come up there and have a discussion with him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something that you deal with. But if you go with a situation with a female and something at their job, or you go with a situation with a female boss, or even if it's a male supervisor, you have to deal with it a certain way. Just like when I come to advice for you about a situation I'm going through, you're going to give me a positive output on how to deal with it. You're not going to give me negative output, and it's not a motive that you give. No, you feel comfortable that you gave them the right advice and it worked out, but you feel uncomfortable if you gave them the right advice and it didn't work out. There's not a motive to anything that you're doing to benefit or help anybody. There's not a motive that I'm going through. If I give you a couple of dollars and I say, no, it's cool, don't give it back to me. I just make sure you're all right, or give it back to me when you can. It's not a motive if I come over there and I see that you're sick and I cook food for you and the family for the rest of the week. That's not a motive. That's me just fixing a solution to a problem that you're having. Or giving advice to a problem that you're having. It's either you're going to fix the solution for the person that you're helping, or you're going to give them advice for it. Which one can you do to benefit that person?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, the person that said that, that's how they feel. But me and you feel the same way. It has nothing to do. There's never a motive to giving advice unless you're given some idiotic and stupid ass advice. Especially, and when it comes to matter of a heart, if a man come to you to discuss what he's going through with his wife or his girlfriend, you don't sit up here and call that person that he's dealing with a bitch, or that man a pussy, or that motherfucker. No, you respect him accordingly, because you got to still remember that's that person's mate. No, I'll leave that bitch the fuck alone. Fuck that bitch. Yo, you do know that's my wife though, right?
Yeah.
So now you're creating a whole different situation. Instead of sitting up here talking, and certain people are not meant to give you advice. You got to realize who are you going to get advice from. If you know that if you got a cousin that is a known whore, and he's a known whore, you're not going to go to the known whore for advice about relationships. Because the first he's going to be like, yo, man, I'm going to the bar tonight. There's going to be some bitches down there. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So it's not going. You go to people for advice that's benefit you, and that's going to look at things neutrally to let you know you're wrong, she's wrong, and what you can do to fix it on both sides. That's who you go to advice
but
for.
The thing is, are you going to listen? Because this is not about who's giving the advice. This is who didn't listen. This is about who didn't listen to the advice.
You're right about that though, son. But the thing about it is, if they don't listen, you're not held accountable.
Who's not held accountable? Who's not held accountable?
The person that gave the advice is not held accountable. I'm talking about come back and make it seem like they're held accountable.
Well, no, I'm talking about when they come back crying to you because now they need help again, or they need sympathy, or whatever they need is all a result of them not following the advice or the instructions that you gave them. This is not about somebody coming back to you to try to blame you for something, because there ain't nobody going for that. Well, maybe some people going for it, but not on this show. On this show, this is somebody coming back with their tail between their legs, bruised up, crying, hurt, bleeding out, need bandages. You know what I'm saying? And they need help again. Like, yo, can you give me a ride to the hospital? Okay. I watched the video yesterday, This is an interesting video. This was funny. It was asking about the movie Scarface. Black people love the movie Scarface. You know what I'm saying? That was so they was asking, was Omar in the movie Scarface, was he really a rat? Remember when they took him up in the helicopter and hung him and shit? Yeah, they beat his ass first, then hung him from the helicopter and shit. They was asking, like, do you think that Omar was really a rat or an informant, or did Sosa just want to get rid of Omar because he could see that Tony and Omar wasn't getting along very well, and Tony wanted to go ahead and do the deal that benefited Sosa, and Omar was like, no, I got to check with Frank first. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, I never really thought about it that way. But the reason that Omar is significant in this example that I'm talking about is because remember when Tony was working at the food place, he was broke. Him and Manny was working at the food place, and then Omar and the other boy in the car had pulled up and was supposed to give him the money for that Rabanga hit that he did in Freedom Town and shit. And remember Tony started getting smart with Omar, like, yo, you know what I mean? You trying to give me this little bit of money and all of this old crazy shit. And then the boy told him, like, yo, give him that job with the Colombians. You know what I mean? So Omar set Tony up to, he knew that those Colombians was going to try to rob him for the cash. And you know what I'm saying? He knew, but he survived that. And, he worked it out. But in that example, yeah, sometimes people will give you advice to set you up for failure. But in a situation like that, that's totally different than what we're talking about. Yeah,
but the thing about it though, son, you being in the knowing the person and you looking at that person, the individual, the only thing different between that is Tony was money hungry. He wanted to find a way to get into the good graces of other people. So he didn't really look at Omar that way. He just said, I'm going to do it, not realizing he was getting set up.
I think he kind of knew he was getting set up, because remember, he asked him, he said, they told him you might need a machine gun, whatever, because, the Colombians is on some other shit. And remember, Tony was already wary of Colombians off gate. Remember that. So he already knew that, this is a suicide mission. You know what I mean? This ain't going to go well, but I'm going to make the best of it, because, if I get through this, or when I get through this, then, they going to fuck with me like that. So he took a chance. And even though he lost his ball, you gotta really think, like he let his ball get cut up to save somebody's money who he ain't know like that. That's crazy. You know what I mean? You really got to think about, like, yo, who are you loyal to? Like, I ain't going on. I wouldn't have went on another job with Tony. I'm good. I'm good, Tom. I'm good, Tom. Nah, man, I'm all right. You know what? I'm gonna stay working at the food joint. You know what? I've been wanting to get out of the game anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you gonna let them cut my shit off? Cause you don't want to give up the money? Now, I understand they was going to kill them all anyway. I get that part. You know what I mean? And if Manny wasn't busy fucking with the bitch at the car, he would have, you know what I mean? He wouldn't have been late. Maybe nobody would have got cut up.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing about it. If you know that this is a situation that's going to happen, then that's on you. So he made his boy a sacrificial lamb to benefit his growing optimism, so he can make it to the next level. And the thing about it is that that's how some people, you sit back and you give the great advice. You know what I mean? It's like telling a kid, don't cross the street, when the cars is coming. and then they don't listen, and all of a sudden you look at the news and you see somebody
Yeah.
got hit by a car, hit and run, and you turn around and your child ain't home, and then you got to go to the hospital and find out your child got hit by a car because they didn't listen.
Hold on a second. We got Cheryl Halsey on the line. She's been waiting for a minute. Cheryl, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
How are you?
Enjoying the show.
Okay,
I'm gonna be quick though.
All right. Just wanted to make sure that I don't want to box you out. You know what I mean? I clicked you in for a reason. You know how it go.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to clarify something. In that what I put in the chat, I never asked no one for advice, nor did I ever give advice. You know what I mean? When I said people will say things, well, I use the word advice. I shouldn't have said advice. But they'll tell you things, try to tell you things. And then, yes, they will try to hurt you with it. And that's what I experienced. And so this is why I never asked anyone for no advice, not even my mother in my marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Nor did I give advice. I always just wanted to do things on my own. And I tried to treat other people with the same respect. If they came to me with advice, I still wouldn't give them any advice. Because I'm like, I don't want nobody coming back on me later saying, this didn't work or whatever. So this is exactly why I never gave advice, nor did I ask for it. Okay? And that's what I meant, in the chat, but like you're saying, yeah, you accept it. If you ask for advice and it don't work out, then you're going to come back on you. Well, I didn't want that. And so this is exactly why I never did. Okay?
So,
and hey, Troy, how you doing? Go ahead.
How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. And by the way, my baby came home. Remember last time we talked, they didn't make it arrested him, but they didn't have nothing on it, But anyway, I'm dealing with that. Yeah.
Wait,
about the search warrant or what have you. Yeah.
Wait, is it possible to never give anybody any advice? Like, how do you raise your kids? How you tell them what?
Well, and I'm getting to that.
Okay.
The only person I have ever given is my children. Say for instance, like I'll give you an example. We had company one night. And this girl was at my house. She called herself Ben. Well, we grew up here together. But anyway, she was trying to tell me something regarding Henry. I knew what it was about. It was my cousin that was, in the van with him. But anyway, she sat there in my home, and we were playing dominoes, having fun, and said, "And you be quiet before I tell Cheryl such and such." And I'm like, okay, so I put her and her husband out of my home, and I just said, when or if he's doing something, it'll come back to me. This is what I mean by people will try to say things to you, but they just want to hurt you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it's not that they really, and this person, too, did not really care about my feelings or what have you, because if you did, you wouldn't come to my home, you and your husband, because you're drinking, and I could fool when my children are around. So, anyways, no, but I did not. Yes, only like as today, I will give advice to my children, and it's up to them if they take it or not, and it's nothing because Mama has lived and my husband is gone now. I told you. Henry was sick and he went home in 22. Okay, I'm dealing with him and my baby boy's death. He died 4 months after my baby boy. But anyways, no, I don't like to give advice because, like I said, I'm the type of person that, well, I've always been like that. I've just been very observant. And yes, I'll laugh and talk with you, what have you. As long as there's nothing negative or what have you, talking about people and all that, that just was, it's still not me, right to say. And I'm trying to get back on my feet. I'm still dealing with my baby boy and him is that we're so close. I'm trying real hard, and trying to get, but like I said, the only advice I give, if they ask for it, and sometimes they don't ask for it. If I see them doing something wrong, like my baby girl, she goes berserk, just as the usual thing, and she's a Gemini, But at any rate, I try to give her advice to keep her from getting in trouble, and she'll take it, she'll take it sometimes and say, no, mama, that's no, like I can't do da. No, I'm just telling you because I'm older and I have lived and I've gone through what you're trying to go through.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only, like you said, right now, no, I do not give and I never did. If somebody asked me something, I would not say, okay, this is what I would do, blah, 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 blah. And especially in relationships. No, I cannot give you no advice because I didn't want anyone in our relationship. I did not want my business out there. And so therefore, I did not, excuse me, I did not give out advice and I didn't ask for nobody's advice. Some people would try to say different things, shoot little shit shots. But I just, like I said, I've done what I had to do. But anyway, that's all. And head over to the chat. I hope everybody's doing well. I love you all. Okay.
Well, you too. Well, I'll keep you in my prayers. Cheryl.
Okay, I truly appreciate it because that's exactly what I need. It's prayer. I try and I try. But anyway, I love you guys. Okay.
All right.
Everybody take care.
Have a good one.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
That's what's up. Good stuff. Cheryl Hudson says almost like giving someone the wrong directions. I don't know. I guess I look at it like this. If somebody tells you the wrong thing, then that's not advice.
If they blatantly, if somebody asks you for advice and the advice doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, it's not the wrong advice. It's just that advice didn't work. But if they blatantly gave you some advice, some negative advice, and you went through with it, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying, why would you sit up here and tell me this dumbass shit?
Yeah, advice.
It's up to you as the individual. So that's why you have to put yourself in a mind frame of, who can I talk to about this shit? But I gotta get it off my chest, see what type of advice I can get. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen, I understand what people say by the motivation that people give you. The motivation that people have to help you out. I understand the mind state behind that, but you have to understand that advice is, if a person knowingly gives you instructions on about something that is gonna mess you up or put you in more trouble or put you behind the 8 ball, however you want to term it, that's not advice. They set you up. They played you. You know what I mean? The word advice goes towards people who have good intentions. Even if they didn't give you the correct advice, they did so with the mind state that they were trying to help. You know what I mean? Like, this is all I had and I gave it. This is all I knew. So I told you. So that's a different situation. I don't want to get good advice or bad advice mixed up with bad intentions and playing somebody or giving out instructions that's going to hurt somebody. So we got to make sure that we understand that, but the whole,
just like teachers, it's just like when you're sitting down and you trying to, whether you teaching or giving your kids good advice when you helping them with their homework, right? And if you don't know this shit, you go, no, I think go to your mother and ask her about that algebra shit. I don't really know algebra. But if you try to teach them algebra, you know you don't know the algebra, and they go to school and they fail that test. You can't get mad at them when they come home like that. You didn't know the algebra, did you? Because how I failed this test.
Well, you know what? It's funny you should say algebra, because one thing is for sure: you either know algebra or you don't know algebra. There ain't a person in the world that thinks they know algebra that don't know algebra. You know what I mean? You started working with them integers and shit like that, and you know what I mean, parentheses and variables, and you know goddamn well you don't know what you're doing. And any child that has taken any algebra class, regardless of how far you are in the semester, they're going to know whether you are teaching them algebra. Right. You're like, yo, I don't think this is right. Like, yo, we not come. What you got to do on one side, you got to do on the other side. It comes out the same way, man.
B plus C don't equal D, man.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you over here.
Look for E and F too.
You over here doing English. That ain't it. That ain't it. You ain't supposed to spell with the letters to get the right answer.
You could have been teaching. You go A. E-I-O-U.
Yeah, you when you don't know math and you trying to help your kids with their homework, there are 5 letters that you need to familiar yourself with. That's T-U-T-O-R. And you get the fuck out of the way. That spells tutor. Mm-hmm. Tutor. Get them one. The homework hotline. Whatever you got, you get the fuck out of the way. You dumb. You didn't pass math. You know what I mean? So don't be trying to help nobody with what you couldn't do yourself.
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing about it. Something like that's advice. The best advice a person can tell you is that what you just said, get a tutor. You know what I'm saying? But some people want to sit back and say, no, I know this shit. And then you take your kids home and you go to school and they be like, well, Mr. Johnson, you were showing them this. You don't know how to do it. You like to take the class too. Teachers know what parents got it on the ball and which ones don't. They know. Just by the way certain parents approach teachers and authority figures, they already know. Oh, now I see why they kids they child has behavioral problems. I get it. Now I know what to do. Because I know how to handle this, man. I know how to handle this shit now. Yeah, because there are no good resources at the crib. But yeah, when they want to come back crying to you, when they want to come back crying on your shoulder, when they looking, for more help, when they distorting the facts of what happened to them, because they know if they tell you what really happened, even though you may already have a sneaky suspicion, or because of exactly how they turned out, what things turned out for them, exactly what they did right and exactly what they did wrong. When you know the steps of a process, and that somebody left out a step, because you can see this is what happens when you skip this step, and that they skipped that step. So when they come back to you crying and shit, talking about, I did everything you said, and you looking at it like, it only looks like this when you don't do this. It could be an additive that's supposed to go in there. It could have been, you were supposed to turn a screw or a nut or a bolt a certain amount of ways, this only happens when you don't do this part. Are you sure you did that part? And like your old heads, remember your old heads would walk you through the whole process again when they know you was lying. You know what I mean? They wouldn't always just say, yo, why are you lying to me? They say, okay, well, let's do it again. Let's us do it. Mm-hmm. And they walk you through the whole thing. And then you get to that part where you fucked up, or the part that you didn't do, and then they make you do it. And like, how come it turned out all right? You know what? Mm-hmm. Let's try it
without doing this part. Wow, it looks like what you got. You know what? Maybe you didn't remember to do. You know what? Maybe I didn't remember. See, that's those are the old heads that'll let you live. The other old heads like, your dumbass didn't do this part, did you? Now watch you go. Now you gonna go and lie right in my face. Look me right in the eye too. You a different kind of lying ass. Look at you. You ain't had no problem. You know, a lot of people say you can't lie looking the person right in their eyes. You can, huh? You done practiced at this. Okay. All right. I got you this time. Next time you on your own. But yeah, crying to listen, man. I mean, this, you know, whether we talking about relationships, whether we talking about jobs, whether we talking about bills or doing some work or whatever, you know, when a person extends their hand to you or their help to you, you know, taking that shit for granted is not cool. And it shows when you have little or no respect for the person that's giving you the advice. And I used to hear people say all the time, like things like, yo, man, I ain't taking no advice from no crackhead and all of that. I'm like, okay, so I understand that you have contempt for the fact that you know this person is on drugs, but you've reduced their whole life to just the part that's addicted to drugs. You don't think this person has done anything in their lives? You don't think they have any experience? You don't think that they know anything about anything except for hitting the pipe? That's what you think? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, just remember that the coach of a team does not play. Maybe they used to play, but they don't play now. And everybody who plays does not have the game plan to run the team, but the coach does. And if he doesn't, then he gets fired. Simple as that. We know the players can play, but we have to find out if the coach can coach. Now, so in the situation where somebody who does not play the game and is not playing the game, you will listen to them and respect them because they can show you how to win championships. But you mean to tell me that somebody who's getting high can't tell you anything about anything that you know? But when you want to save, when you only want to spend $25 or $50 for brakes all around your car, did you go over to Midas? Did you let them charge you up $500-$600?
No, you was the JoJo, the crackhead.
$50 all around. $75 if you need rotors.
So you trust a crackhead to put your whole life in danger and your kids' life in danger while you're driving in a car, but you won't take advice from him.
You're not putting your advice. You know he knows what the fuck he's doing. You know he knows what he's doing. But similar to what you said, you trust him to fix your car because you know he knows how to do that and he'll do it for cheap. But you don't think that he knows any life advice. What do you think got him? What do you think got him hooked on drugs? No life experiences. What you think? Happiness got him there? You know, it's like I can't expect everybody to look deep into a person's situation the way I try to. But it's like anybody and everybody can give advice. I used to, when me and my dad was in business together, I used to tell my dad, like, man, it seems like you don't like you don't like nobody unless they bummy, broke, stinking, and on drugs. And he said, Omar, these people that you referring to in that way are the people who are making us rich. That's the reason why you own your building. That's the reason why they the reason why you are driving what you driving. These are the reason why we looking at $50,000 for this month. They the reason. If I had to pay somebody $10,000 a month, then we only pulling in $40,000 a month. But I can pay them, I don't know, and payroll, I might be able to make payroll $2,000 a week, some shit like that. And that went for 8 people. Let me try that with one contractor that sees what we had. And, you know, when he told me that, I was like, but they be stealing from us. I said, they can't steal nothing we can't replace and still be ahead. He was right. He was right. I didn't like it, but he was right. I wasn't totally wrong, but he was more right than I was. But the thing is, he could see the value. Now, there were times when they stole something that we needed and we had to go out and buy it again. But he wasn't coming to me crying on my shoulder. That was the difference. Like, yeah, I told you to look out for them. You didn't look out for them, and they got us. But, you know, he wasn't coming back bitching. He was like, they can't steal nothing we can't replace. Nothing. Drills, saws, tools, power tools, and shit like that. So that's why he just started marking off the tools. So he knew. I mean, people came back and tried to sell us our own shit. I was like, yo, you see that red paint on there? That's our shit. Give me. And I used to take it from them. They mad as shit. Like, but I'm like, yo, man, let me show you. One time I invited this boy and I said, look at all these tools. You see what those tools have in common with the one you trying to sell back to me? I gave him $5. Like, here, take $5 and tell the person who sold it to you that when we find their ass, we firing them. You let them know. You know, like, it is what it is. But yeah, but when somebody blatantly disregards the advice that you give them, when you're trying to help them, when you're genuinely trying to help them, and I know for a fact that we've all given advice to somebody who we knew wasn't going to follow the advice. We've all done it. I know I have. Like, all right, you know what? I'm going to help anyway. But I already know they're not going to listen. Either because they stupid or because they stupid. Because you can be stupid because you don't understand, and you can be stupid because you don't listen. Either way, what you didn't do was be smart in a situation. So, you know, but don't come back crying to me. I ain't got nothing for you. I mean, many people have been mad at me for the second time. Now, all right. My pop used to always say everybody deserves a second chance. And I had to call him on that. I was like, not everybody deserves a second chance, because if they tried to kill you the first time and they failed, I don't think that they deserve a second chance at that. He's like, yeah, but that's, I mean, you know, you got to make sure people understand. You know what I mean? I know people who got back cool with somebody who shot at them. Like, huh? Oh, you rationalized that he just tried to shoot you because he was mad? Or he got high that day? Like, I know people who've done it. I'm like, the motherfucker took a shot at you? And y'all cool again? Nah, man, you know, we was young at the time. Young at the time was 2 years ago. Man, you know, I got past that shit. We all right. We good now. I'm like, all right. No, I don't think everybody deserves a second chance. I think that most people deserve a good fighting first chance. But that second chance, for some people, for a person that's predatory, that second chance is going to fuck up a lot of people. That second chance. You know.
Well, I think that second chance, a second it has to be earned. If the first chance, a second chance has to be earned. You just don't give them a second chance from the door. You know, you evaluate that first chance you gave them. You know what I'm saying? And then, and then sit back and say, all right, well, I'm gonna make this decision. Give me a couple of days. I'll let you know. You just don't sit back and say, oh, I got you. You know, if I see somebody like, you know, it's like, you know, my mom always said, she said, Troy, don't expect people to be like you. Never expect people to have a good heart or to be there for you like you will be there for them. You know, and that's one of my main problems. You know, people have a tendency to forget the sacrifices you've done for them, and then you sit back and it's like they forgot. I call it the Janet Jackson syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you done for me lately. You know, and 9 times out of 10 is a woman. You know, when a man do it, it's like, that's fucked up. A man would do it, but a woman, you expect a woman to have that type of attitude.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You don't expect a man to think that way. You know?
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole thing about even with your kids. You don't expect your kids to think that way. You know, I got like my brother, he's a pastor, and I'm always be talking, it's like they forgot that there was you had to get a penis and a vagina to come together to make them. They think the mother just made them all at once.
Mm.
Like the mother is the most important factor, even when the father is there continuously.
Yeah.
So they'll go to the mother for advice, especially the son. When the son goes to the mother for advice, you be looking at him like, are you fucking serious? I'm right here. What you think? I can't give you as a young man, you should want to turn like me. The people I couldn't get advice from people. My grandfather passed away. My father didn't want to had nothing to do with me because he was jealous of my relationship with his father. He couldn't give me no advice. And other people that by the time I became an adult and I needed advice, all the men that was the focal point of my life was gone. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now you turn to people, you try to turn to other people, and you like you gotta be specific. Let me call son. Let me call my brother. There's not many people you can turn for advice. Let me call my boy, my mentor, Chef Malachi. Let me call him. But when you get when you get the advice, are you gonna use it? Yeah. Like my mom also said that only when you're ready to make decisions, and only when nobody can give you advice if you're not ready to make them decisions.
Well, I mean, you gotta be, your ears have to be trained to hear the advice. Sometimes you're not in the headspace to listen or hear. I mean, you may actually be in the headspace where you actually cannot hear with what somebody is saying physically. Like you physically block out certain things because you're not there.
Yes. Or you don't want to, or you don't want, you get off the phone or you finish getting advice in front of that person and you walk away gung-ho. And as soon as you see the person that you got to give that you got to say something to, you're like, no, fuck it, I ain't gonna say that.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Whether that's in a relationship, whether a man or a woman has to talk to one another, whether you got to say something to your boss at the job, whether you got to say something to your teacher, whether you got to say something to your children. Hold on.
I just read something very disturbing. All right. Cheryl Hudson says it's like coming to a red light with the options to turn. You can turn on red, but that's your choice. If I don't want to, beep away. I have 17 grandkids. I can take it. Yo, when people don't turn on red, Yo, first of all, I'm not beeping. I'm going around your ass. You know what I mean? So now I'm violating.
You did
You know,
very disturbing.
that shit is, yo, man. Yeah, I can't take it. I'm like, what, you from New York? You know, in New York, they can't turn on red. I'm like, yo, if yo, turn. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? she talking about some one lane, baby. Shit. It's only one lane if it ain't enough space. If it's some space, I'm getting around you. Yeah, I'm not going to get road rage and push your car push the back of your car with the front of mine. But you can best believe I'm turning on that red. Listen, red lights drive me crazy anyway. I'm like, I don't know. But anyway, you know, like, being able to respect somebody, being able to adhere to the advice that somebody is giving. Like, either a person knows what they're talking about or they don't. But sometimes some people can make the determination that somebody doesn't know what they're talking about when they actually do, or when they haven't actually tested their skill or their knowledge base. You know, there are plenty of people out here who will write somebody off as, you know. I've heard people say things like, I don't care what they say, I'm not listening to none of it. And sometimes I've heard it be like legit. Like somebody like Donald Trump. He lies so much that, yeah, the likelihood that I would listen to any general advice that he would give is probably low. But I can't say that I would never listen to anything he had to say, because he has been successful in some areas. Definitely financial. Not everything he's done has worked, but something he has done has worked well. Now, sifting through that and finding where it would work, that's a whole other thing. But then, you know, speaking of Donald Trump and all of this shit, all these motherfuckers that voted for these MAGA supporters, shit ain't working out right now.
But we knew this though. We before election came, we was on your podcast, and we was like, watch what happened.
Yeah, we knew, but 70 million of them motherfuckers didn't act like they knew.
It was like somebody, you got an argument with somebody, and the bull walked away and was like, watch. And you stood there. And in your mind, you know he's coming back with a gun. But you decide to stick around. Same analogy. You know what he was going to do. And in your mind, you thinking he's going to do right, but parts of your mind in your cerebral cortex, you said, oh, no, I'm going to stick around for this shit. And when that hot shit hit you, you was like, oh, or you didn't make a noise because it hit you in the head. You didn't sit back and the reality of, you should have left. The reality of that situation, y'all shouldn't have voted for him.
Well, the thing is, now they really looking for somebody to cry to. And the people that they looking to cry to ain't helping. They ain't doing shit.
They looking at us. They looking at us to cry to.
Well, are they?
Yeah, because on YouTube, I mean, I go by my algorithm. I see on YouTube, you hear, you know, like Latinos, like not Puerto Ricans, but Latinos, like Cubans, Venezuelans, and other people that's in this country, right? That you need a green card for. Yeah. You hear them online like, why is there no black people marching with us, and why this and why that? Well, I mean, why would we? Didn't you? 50% of y'all voted for him. After they called y'all a trash can in the water. After they laughed at y'all, after he was just there when he was in his first term throwing paper towels at y'all like y'all was at Costco's.
See,
After he didn't really give y'all enough money to fix Puerto Rico back up.
Puerto Rico is an American territory. So
Yeah, but see, even though it's American territory, you have other people that's not from Puerto Rico that might have family in Puerto Rico.
yeah.
And all of them, the majority, sometimes they all stick together.
Well,
That's exactly why it's like that. It is what it is. 50% of them voted for him, whether you're Mexican, whether you're Cuban, Colombian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, all of y'all in that conglomerate voted for this bastard. Can't deny the percentage.
what about white women?
There you go. They can't. No, you can't. Don't go crying to black women.
Well, no.
And I forgot. I was looking at the Brady Bunch, and I don't know if you remember the episode when they were playing with basketball, and the basketball bounced out of step and broke the flower pot.
Mom always said,
don't play ball in the house.
Mom always said, don't play ball in the house. Mom always said, don't play ball in the house. Like this fucking show.
It's the same thing.
Glasses. Oh, Mom, not glasses. Oh, my nose. Oh, my nose. Them motherfuckers had nothing but quotables on that goddamn show.
So the fucked up part is that every time Sidney Brady sneezed, something was wrong with her.
Yo, they didn't have one legitimate worry on that show. Not one. Not a one. Nothing.
Look, the song, my favorite song from the Brady Bunch is "When It's Time to Change, You Gotta Rearrange Who You Are and What You Gonna Be." Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Sha-na-na-na-na. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what people.
Mine was
Brady voice was getting ready to change.
My favorite my favorite joke was shit. I think it was you gotta keep on dancing all
through the night.
Yeah, I watched that shit, Channel 48, 5 o'clock every goddamn day.
5 o'clock, and after that went off, the Flintstones came on.
Yes, they did. All right.
And after that went on, Pink Panther came on.
Pink Panther?
You don't remember what came on after what?
Mm-hmm.
But those were the good old days. Those were the what years.
But yeah, you know, when we talking about one group that's the main reason that Trump got elected, that nobody is pointing the finger at and blaming, because and they definitely been coming back, you know, crying on shoulders and complaining. White men.
Yes.
White men overwhelmingly voted for him. And I'm like, so that includes all them farmers? That includes the federal workers, the VA, all of them motherfuckers. That's white men. I'm like, so y'all gonna blame white women, you gonna blame Latinos, but the main one, y'all lumping them in other categories. Y'all not just gonna say white men. Huh. I mean, I noticed this. I'm like, oh, they mentioning Latinos and white women by name.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't heard nobody say white men. Yeah, y'all getting fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And they are.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
them farmers ain't Latinos.
It makes it even worse when you work for the government and they fire you from your job that you was making 6 figures, or close to 7 figures, that and they just fired you, and now you sit up after you done voted for them. You know, now you want to march and you want You want to do all this stuff, and you want to do all that stuff after the fact. See, just like we always said. See, and like just like I'm gonna give you for instance, like this shit that went on with them sending the email out. I mean the text messages through Signal to the Defense Department, and it hits the journalist. And what happens is nobody. I looked at some of this shit on YouTube. Instead of somebody saying this at these hearings, this is not a Republican or a Democrat issue. This is the issue of the sovereignty of our country. When you keep thinking about you making this Republican and Democrat, the stupid shit that they did could have got people killed. Could have got the pilots killed. Could have got ships bombed on. Could have got anything happen. But instead of y'all looking at it that way, y'all looking at it, and these people are so scared of Donald Trump that they can't own up to the fact that motherfuckers did something wrong. No, it wasn't classified. No, that wasn't classified. If I sit up here and I announce on the street that the person I'm getting ready to go fight is, if I announce on the corner of his block, I'm going to Tyrone's house, knock on his door at 11:40, and when he come out at 11:50, I'm going to punch him in his fucking mouth. So you think that should have been classified and kept to myself instead of saying that out loud in front of his friends in the neighborhood he was at?
Hold on.
Don't you think that's classified information? It's just that simple.
Yo.
Well, if you having dinner with a girl, well, at 8 o'clock we gonna go to dinner. 9:30 we gonna eat dinner, do that. Then we gonna walk to the park to Rittenhouse Square up until 10:30. At 11 o'clock, 11:30, I plan on being in your drawers, and I'm gonna make sure that I have a condom to put on unless you take it off. So you think that's classified? You should be keeping that shit to yourself.
The only thing these motherfuckers worried about, JD Vance, like, damn, Donald Trump heard me say that he don't know what the fuck he doing. I'm like, oh no! He gonna Mike Pence my ass. I'm done.
I mean, these boys are scared of this old ass man.
Yo, that's why.
You know who he remind me of? I'm gonna tell you who he remind me of. Tell me if I'm lying. Remember the movie Untouchables?
Yeah.
Al Capone was walking around the table.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took the bat out of his hand.
Yeah.
And hit the ball over the head because he made a dumb decision.
Friendly game of baseball.
Yeah. That's Donald Trump. If I could go back to that scene and put Donald Trump's hand on his head and put the guy who sent the text message to the journalist, that would be a perfect analogy. Because this is how scared these people are.
But you got to understand, they are afraid because they dirty.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you're not dirty, you don't have no reason to be afraid. Now, anybody can lose their job, and anybody can lose money. But that's why it kills me when when I see these niggas talking shit about Jasmine Crockett. And I'm like,
oh my God.
And I'm like, don't y'all understand? She clean, dumbass. She clean. That's why she ain't worried. She got her own money. She ain't corrupt. She ain't in bed with none of that.
She tell you from the door, I really don't need to do this.
That's the reason why
I have a law firm. I can go back to my law
That's the reason why she can talk. All those politicians, they got money too, but they dirty. And they know that the commander in chief is a snitch. He can easily defame them. The media got you thinking that they scared that he's going to make up a funny name for them or prevent them from getting reelected. That's not what they worried about. They worried about their entire future because they didn't have their hand in the cookie jar. That's why the Democrats They haven't been stepping the fuck up, and that's why the Republicans been kissing the ring.
But that's what I had said that to you before.
Yeah,
we had said that. I said that the reason why they're not coming forward is because they scared, and they scared that he gonna send these people after them.
But what we was talking about at that time was a different reason for why they wasn't
speaking up.
They wasn't speaking up. It's different now because in the beginning it just seemed like they was waiting to see if it was going what was going to happen or whatever. Now that it's so serious, when you see motherfuckers like Chuck Schumer voting the wrong way, it's like you better because they know the motherfucker dirty and he been dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like
this shit is looking like this shit make me feel like I'm looking at a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're looking at a Tubi or Netflix movie because there's no reality to it. You can't believe the shit that goes on in this country. You can't believe the bullshit that's going on. And like now, farmers want to cry and talk about all this shit because they didn't snatch up the immigrants, and them immigrants was the one that was helping you with your harvest.
Idiotic Genius in the chat says, I have a family member that's a lobbyist, and if people knew how much they got paid out to that they paid out to politicians, they stroke out. It's true. And the thing is, like I said, Donald Trump is a snitch, and they know he'll pull the trigger on anybody in the Democratic Party. So, let me do what I want to do, and everything will be all right.
If he pull the trigger on anybody in the Democrat Party, he'll pull the trigger on anybody in the Republican Party that's on his side.
Well,
don't agree with him.
Right, if you don't agree with him. And the thing is, I'm like, but he's dirty too, so why don't y'all just fight fire with fire? Well, but they know because now people will lose faith in the whole system. And he's the one who said that the system was corrupt.
We both agree on that. Yeah. But the faith in the whole system is already lost.
Already lost. Evidently, it's not lost by all. They working on it, but it's not. Listen, you got people still. You got people out here.
I'm from a Washington C state right now. If there was a state out here that I could be part of, it'd be the Washington City.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. Speaking of Pennsylvania voted the wrong way.
Yes.
So it is what it is.
See, the thing about it is that the Republicans made it that way through the gerrymandering throughout the years, resetting these areas.
And that's
the whole thing. They reset the areas to benefit the map in Pennsylvania.
This is the second two out of three terms dealing with Trump. This is the second out of three times that Pennsylvania has voted the red way. So what kind of state is this for real? For real? They voted. Right. They voted for him in 2016.
It stayed blue.
Was it? Was it? Was it?
It was blue for years up until Trump. George W. Bush didn't win Pennsylvania.
How about George H.W. Bush?
That I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, we're gonna Google it.
But the whole thing about
hold on. Let me go ahead and Google. Hold on.
That's a good question.
Which election?
I wouldn't be shocked if Ronald Reagan won Pennsylvania.
Hold on. In which presidential elections have Pennsylvania voted red? Okay. In all, the Republican Party has carried Pennsylvania in 27 presidential elections. The Democratic Party in 20. So, yeah.
So when the last time, other than this year, last year, and when he won the first time, When did they? When the last time did they carry it?
All right, I'm gonna just go from what we may consider to be our modern era. So going
Just
back,
say when did George W. Bush, did George H. W. Or George H. Bush, whatever his name is, win Pennsylvania?
no, Bill Clinton won. Bill Clinton won in 1992, and he won in
Right,
96. And
right.
Al Gore won in 2000. John Kerry won in 2004. Barack Obama. Okay, so you're right. In the modern era, but Donald Trump won twice.
What's changed is from the time Barack got into office until now, the gerrymandering of the resetting of the state. The Republicans has reset the state
But look at
to
this.
benefit them.
Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush won in 84 and 88.
Right.
Nixon won in 72. Okay.
And that's all we got to worry about because we after that,
Well,
we wasn't even born. We go back then. At past 72, we wasn't born then. So.
well, in 48, 52, and 56, they voted red for Thomas Dewey.
But you got to remember, red. If they voted red, them Republicans were Democrats at the time.
Okay, well, I mean,
the Democratic Party was the Republican Party at that time.
I don't accept that the Republican Party was ever good. I'm not going for that shit.
But see, you got to realize something. It wasn't never good, but they switched sides. So the Democrats, the racist Republicans that was Democrat went over. The racist Democratic went over to the Republican Party. The Strom Thurmond and all them other people, those racist Republicans went over to the Republican Party, and that's when the Republican Party became who it was, and that was because of the signing of the Civil Rights Bill and the Voters' Rights Act.
Well, no, the Democratic Party was already starting to become more liberal because John F. Kennedy died before the Civil Rights Act, so they was already.
He died before the Civil Rights Act, but Lyndon Baines Johnson wanted to continue with the fight that he wanted to go through, and that's why they switched sides because Lyndon Baines Johnson was a Republican, and that's why they switched it up because once he got them votes,
what you mean?
He was like, no.
What do you mean he was a Republican?
He was a Republican, and they didn't want those the Democrats. Some of them Democrats was going over. Is some way. I think either the Republicans was going over to the Democrats. Let me think. Yeah, some of them the racist ones were switching sides.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but he was Kennedy's running mate, so he had to be a Democrat at that time.
I mean, well, yeah, he was a Democrat. I guess, yeah, he was a Democrat. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they switched sides.
No, I understand. Their ideology. Yeah, they ideologically they switch sides. But right. I will never accept that everybody switched ideologically. You know what I mean? I'm sure the whole civil rights movement, the whole Jim Crow thing and all of that, it was already dividing the country just as much as slavery was. So, but I can't accept that Republicans was doing all good because they freed the slaves, but it wasn't in the interest of the slaves. It was in the interest of the money. Yeah. It was just no way.
Well, I mean, you can sit back and, it takes me out because when people say they freed the slaves, I would never sit back and call it freedom because if they were still killing us, that should have been known as a hate crime and they should have been locked up for life. Because the country was still divided on slavery, they were able to hang and still do what they was doing to us in the South in other parts of this country. At the end of the day, slavery really never ended. You had the Jim Crow laws that still was in effect. still couldn't vote. So certain things that didn't change shit.
Well, there's a difference between freeing slaves and helping black people, and we see that difference to this very day.
To this day, right?
All right,
Right.
all right. We got our 2 hours in. Let's go do it. Want to thank you for coming through, my brother. You know what I mean?
Always a pleasure, man.
Without a doubt. Have a good day. It's warm out there, man. Get some sunshine. All right. I know you need a tan.
Say that again?
I said I know you need a tan.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I gotta go get this tan, man. My chocolate needs a melanin charge.
There you go. Get that.
Everybody on the live stream, much love. Be safe. Enjoy your day. Have fun. See y'all here tomorrow when I get it. I'm trying my best to be up to go ahead with you, son, again tomorrow, bro.
That's what's up, man. Have a good one.
And you, I'll be praying for you as well as Cheryl. So.
That's what's up. I need that.
All right, man.
Okay. Peace. All right, y'all. Let's go over these poll results. Then we're gonna do these birthday shout outs and then we're gonna be out. All right, so out of 26 votes, the poll question was what's the likelihood that you'll help someone after you warn them and they didn't listen? 35% says yes, everyone makes mistakes, so they would help. All right, 19% said probably not, but maybe I would. Like, so you sort of on the fence about it. 23% says depends on our relationship. That makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? If I love you or if I care for you or if I think that you're young and you still have a chance, maybe, yeah, I might do it. And 23% also says, don't even ask me. It's a wrap. Like, listen, you don't listen to what I got to say. Go your own way. I see you on the flip side. Good luck, dummy. All right, we have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious March 29th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, my girl Julianne Adkins. Happy birthday, Jules. And also Anissa Rashid and Kevin Upshaw. My man Al at Peace. Umea, Althea, Lisa Davis, Anjali Lighty, Pauline Jackson, Hadassah Blyden. I think she's a comedian. Hilaire Munuchka. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is. It's Manuchka. My bad. And Tania Trippett, Terrell Wells, and last but not least, Lathea Miller. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all, and I hope that today finds you all a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious March 29th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, they didn't want to take your advice. Actually, they took their advice, but then they did something wasn't nice. Yeah, they pretty much put your advice on the shelf and even put their own personal health in much jeopardy. Plus, the money didn't work. Now they want to come by you crying on your shirt. Well, it's going to hurt. Got some new advice. Stay the fuck away from me. and I'm going to get the ice for your eye because it really got swollen from what I see. You just hit a pole and just wrapped your shit up and told it you ride. Yo, this shit is bad. No, it hurts me even more inside. But I do things different if I was you. Next time, listen to me when I try to tell you. Yo, I'm not going to tell you nothing that hurts. I'm never going to try to make you get blood on your shirt. I'm never going to try to make you just have to be suffering, have to take buffering. Pain is unbearable. You almost like the variable ABC dumbass. That's you, see. Yeah, well, time will move on and hopefully you move with it, get with it, you spit it out your face, replace the dumbness, the stupidity. Yo, get rid of me? Well, that's kind of what you did. I don't appreciate the disrespect that you gave me, kid. But you live and learn, and it's your turn. And now I feel like you like Usher and let it burn. You gonna still earn cash and get back on your feet, but you won't be getting that shit from me. Well, we'll see about it. We gonna see about it. Maybe we could talk about it. But for now, I'm going to see you on the flip side. I got to do this thing. Got to take me a ride, clear my head, try to get rid of the cobwebs. Understand the words I said. All right, let me get on up out of here, man. Let me stop playing. Yo, peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 p.m. So make sure y'all come on through. Come on through, and I hope to really see you. All right, hit the like button, man. Y'all light on the likes today. I understand Saturday, y'all about to get on about it, but listen, hit the like button, man. Share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the like button. Stop being stingy. Holla back at y'all, and thanks for coming through, everybody.